It's every kid's dream. Your mom dismisses you from school early and takes you on a surprise trip to Disneyland. But for Gwen Stefani's 11-year-old son Apollo, this was reality for his recent birthday. Stefani shared a video to Instagram on Sunday, March 2, revealing how the surprise happened. "I picked these guys up, sons Apollo and Zuma, out of school. I took them out of school today," Stefani said in the video as she was driving. "I told them they had to go to the dentist, but guess what? We're not going to the dentist, we're going to Disneyland." The video then jumped to Stefani and her sons on a roller coaster at the theme park, followed by some more fun moments from the day. "I'm literally walking, and they're playing No Doubt in Disneyland right now," Stefani said at one point. "It's my song," she added, pointing to a speaker blasting one of the band's tracks. For his birthday, Apollo wore a very fitting Disney hat, which we had on when he hugged Mama Stefani, thanking her for the day. It's such a sweet moment. Typically, when we think of the stunning and ever-dazzling Gwen Stefani, we image her as a fearless rock star, a fashion icon, and a mother of 3 children. In spite of the polished appearance, however, there is a mother who, just like many of us, faces the day-to-day challenges of parenting children, navigating difficult moments, and employing a little bit of ingenuity to make those moments easier for everyone involved. And that is just what Gwen Stefani did when she lied to her son Apollo about the necessity of going to the dentist. In the context of parenting, such small lies, which are frequently referred to as white lies, have a function, despite the fact that they may appear to be inconsequential. They are not about misleading or violating trust. Rather, they are about employing a little bit of creativity and strategy in order to assist our children in coping with circumstances that could otherwise cause them discomfort. In the example of Stefani's approach with Apollo, the goal was to make an intimidating encounter feel less overpowering than it actually was. However, why would a pop singer who is known all over the world and is admired for her fearless persona take the time to tell her child a falsehood that is completely harmless? It is necessary for us to delve deeper than the surface of her notoriety and into the core of motherhood in order to comprehend anything. Love and protection from one's parents are powerful forces. One of the most fundamental motivations that parents have is the desire to shield their children from experiencing pain and the anguish that comes along with it. This instinctive need to protect her son from bad situations, particularly ones that can be emotionally charged, is something that Gwen Stefani, as a mother, surely shares with her son. It is a well-known reality that visiting the dentist is a terrifying experience for a lot of children. It is possible for the antiseptic surroundings, the scary chair, the loud drilling noises, and the perceived stranger probing about in their mouths to be enough for them to cry and throw tantrums. A great number of young children associate the dentist's office with feelings of dread and worry. It is a place where the focus is on experiencing discomfort rather than finding relief from it. It is quite possible that Gwen Stefani was motivated to take the creative step of lying about the reason for Apollo's visit to the dentist because she had the instinct to protect Apollo from the anxiety that could be caused by dental appointments. Providing Apollo with the information that they were going to visit the dentist for something far less serious, like as checking on his teeth or getting a routine cleaning, she could help relieve his anxiety and build up an encounter that would feel more familiar and less intimidating to him. Stefani made sure that her son did not imagine the worst-case scenarios on his own by taking charge of the story and ensuring that she maintained control. A more lenient picture of reality was produced by her, in which the dentist was not shown as an adversary, but rather as a pleasant character in the lives of the child. The perspectives of children on the truth. It is well known that children are creatures of great imagination. Their interpretation of the world is sometimes driven more by sentiments and emotions than by rigid logic. They are always in the process of building their understanding of the world, and sometimes their interpretation of the world is driven more by hard logic. During that historical period, it is possible that Apollo did not possess the capacity to completely comprehend the significance of the reasons for going to the dentist. Instead, it is possible that the visceral emotion of discomfort or fear that was already building up in his thoughts was the one that dominated his perception. The decision that Gwen Stefani made was not so much about concealing the truth as it was about presenting the facts in a manner that would enable Apollo to process it in his own time. This becomes apparent when we examine the situation from this point of view. There are instances when children are simply not prepared to be exposed to the complete and unfiltered picture of reality. It is possible, for instance, that Stefani was aware that providing a comprehensive explanation on the necessity of dental work, regardless of whether it is small or more severe, could result in unwarranted anxiety. The minds of children are prone to making hasty judgments about what something scary might entail. In this particular instance, Stefani may have made the decision that it would be more beneficial to ease Apollo into the scenario by taking a more light-hearted approach, so allowing him to navigate the experience in his own unique manner. The essential role of imagination in the parenting process. Child-rearing is a type of artistic expression, and one of the tools that parents usually employ is their natural imagination. It is common practice for parents to weave stories, create imaginary scenarios, or introduce fun ideas in order to change ordinary and often challenging situations into something more enjoyable for their children. Imagine that you are taking a child's fear of a monster hiding under the bed and replacing it with the idea that the monster is actually just a friendly creature that enjoys playing games. This is the equivalent of using the phrase, "under the bed monster." In the instance of Gwen Stefani, lying about the reason for the appointment to the dentist is a continuation of this creative parenting strategy. She was able to set Apollo's mind at ease by changing the visit to the dentist into a task that was more doable and less frightening. This made the process feel like it was simply another part of their day. The ability to change a potentially horrific occurrence into something that is less daunting is one of the things that contributes to the dynamic and creative nature of that endeavor that is parenting. A wider narrative may be told about how parents, especially those who are in the public eye, can use their creativity to make life simpler for their children. Stefani's method to coping with the dentist appointment, which is light-hearted and inventive, speaks to this larger narrative. The impact that celebrities have on the decisions that parents make. Parenting presents its own special set of obstacles, and celebrities are no exception to this rule. Due to the fact that Gwen Stefani is a mother who is in the public view, she is likely not an exception to the rule that being in the public eye can subject one to constant scrutiny. Even if she is famous, she is still a mother who wants to provide the greatest possible life for her children. Her decision to lie to Apollo about the dentist was not a reflection of her status as a celebrity. Rather, it was a reflection of her ability to tap into the universal parenting wisdom that there are times when you need to protect your child from something that they might not completely comprehend or be ready to address. Despite the fact that celebrities frequently have access to additional services, such as specialist pediatric dentists or child psychologists that specialize in handling children, they are nevertheless confronted with the same challenges that are faced by other parents. It was not Stefani's intention to cultivate a public image or to shield her kid from the world of dentistry. Rather, she deliberately lied in order to make sure that Apollo experienced a sense of security and comfort during an occasion that could possibly be unpleasant. This choice does not necessarily indicate anything about her celebrity status. Rather, it brings attention to the profoundly human aspect of parenting that is independent of fame. Through the choices that parents make, they can teach emotional intelligence. In essence, Gwen Stefani's choice to fabricate the story about her visit to the dentist is an illustration of how parents frequently employ their creative abilities to educate their children's emotional intelligence. When it comes to dealing with fear, discomfort, and anxiety, parents make it a priority to assist their children in developing coping skills. It is possible that Stefani anticipated that by presenting a potentially terrible experience in a less frightening perspective, she would be able to allow Apollo to develop resilience while preventing him from being overwhelmed with unwarranted fear. In order for children to successfully traverse the intricacies of the world around them, it is essential for them to possess emotions intelligence. By taking the time to develop a story about the visit to the dentist that was more approachable, Stefani was able to instill a sense of security in her child. She demonstrated to him that it is okay to confront difficult circumstances when they are treated with care and empathy. Apollo might not have fully comprehended the necessity of going to the dentist, but he was able to experience a sense of security and support since he knew that his mother was there to guide him through the process. In the end, Gwen Stefani's decision to lie to her son Apollo about the dentist was not an act of dishonesty, but rather an act of love and innovative parenting on her part. An instinctive response, she did so in order to shield her kid from the anxiety that would be caused by an event that he was not yet prepared to deal with. Her decision is reflective of the experiences that are shared by all parents throughout the world, who employ their imagination, creativity, and knowledge in order to negotiate the intricacies of parenting. Rather than being a failure in terms of telling the truth, it was a success in terms of empathy, protection, and a reminder that sometimes a tiny white lie may go a long way in making a child's journey through the world easier. Gwen Stefani's family life. Stefani has 3 sons with now ex-Gavin Rossdale, Kingston James McGregor Rossdale, 18, Zuma Nesta Rock Rossdale, 16, and Apollo Bowie Flynn Rossdale, 11. And her husband, Blake Shelton, loves being a stepdad. I think being a stepdad has changed my perspective in that I'm not the first person that I think about anymore, Shelton told Access. Even to the small little things when you go, I think I'll do this, the very next thought is always, well, wait a minute. How's that going work? Or, what will they think? Or, how will that affect a schedule? In fact, Shelton's role as stepdad to Zuma, Kingston, and Apollo is, in part, why he decided to leave The Voice after 23 seasons. I think the only way for me to really do, being a stepdad, right is to step away from being committed to something like The Voice that demands a lot of your time, he continued. There's no way around it. If you're going to do it and do it right, you have to be 150% in. And I just feel like those days are behind me for now. I got a more important job.